part of the meme coin moment. Is it going to have any utility? We shall see. I mean, there is speculation that you'll get to meet President Trump as one of the utilities of owning this coin. I don't know if that's the case or not, but so far we don't know of much utility for this coin, except that it is a meme coin of President Trump himself. In the early days of really, I think he's ushering in the next phase of the crypto revolution.
How are you thinking about how much you want to maybe not double down or increase your investment in a company like OpenAI?
Well, yes, we have a nice exposure now. And, it's interesting to have watched that announcement because we know how close Elon Musk with his XAI is to President Trump. And I think what President Trump is doing here is spreading the wealth. I mean, there are some very innovative companies who are going to accelerate this AI age, which in itself is moving at an incredible pace, like a pace that we've never seen before. What we're acquainting Stargate to, so this is the $500 billion project, is to the building out of the highway system in the United States. If you look back and put that investment into $2025, it's roughly the same amount. So these are the digital highways that are going to transform everything. They're going to transform everything and really accelerate GDP growth in a way that I think most people do not understand right now.
On Bitcoin, Jim, you have been a bull, and I didn't realize this. You sent me an email buying when it was under $100 and then buying again at the FTX blowout.
Yes.
Why do you have such conviction?
My first investment was in a company that's here, Circle USDC. That was May of 2013. And through Jeremy Allaire, the phenomenal CEO, I followed Bitcoin very closely, the ups, the many downs, and had the courage when things were really bleak around FTX to talk to people like Jeremy, co-founder Sean Neville, who I backed in another startup, where the conviction was that technology and crypto infrastructure was going to be a very big deal. So infrastructure, we've been very lucky and fortunate to have bought
on
Bitcoin.
The coins, Solana, right?
Solana as well.
What about the Trump meme coin? A lot of people look at this and they say, oh, it's so speculative, and it raises questions actually about whether Bitcoin is a good economic investment.
I don't think it does. I'm not buying the Trump meme coins.
Melania?
I'm a big fan of Melania, actually, but not the coin.
Not the coin.
But the infrastructure, the need for a digital dollar currency, what payments, speaking to a very large bank today, the CEO, who feels now he is unleashed when it comes to crypto and the blockchain. So we'll see a lot of big partnerships with big banks over the next 6 months.
So you like the infrastructure. You don't need to see more of a use case for Bitcoin itself to be a
No, I
bull.
do not.
So because that's where it struggled with some of the big investors.
And it will always struggle that way.
And you'll still be buying.
And I'll still be buying.
Jim.
On weakness.
All right, so why launch this product? Why launch it now? Who are you gearing it towards?
Well, Bitcoin is obviously very popular. It's been the highest returning asset class for a long time now. But not everybody's been involved. There's a lot of people that are scared. The volatility is huge. And so this is a product that we're risk managers. We've been doing that. It's in our DNA for the last 47 years. And there's two things. People that haven't gotten involved that want to do it in a risk-measured way, and people that are involved that are thinking, have we reached the top? It just like you said, it hit 109 just a couple of days ago. Where's it going? So this is an opportunity for people to play in Bitcoin in a risk-measured fashion.
So this is, in a way, it sounds to me like insurance,
Correct.
right? So really the risk for you is calculating how Bitcoin has moved in the past. And if it were to just go straight down, right, for a year plus, well, that wouldn't be good. But based on how you've seen it move, you can make the adjustments during that time that, make sure that you're able to make good on the promise to those who need
No,
it?
we make good from day one.
Okay.
So the way the product works is we'll buy today. We're going to buy, zero coupon treasuries, right? And then we buy options on the CBOE Bitcoin index, right? So we buy call options at the money, and we sell call options as well out of the money to generate income to make up for the coupon for the zero. So we lock in, you're locked in, guaranteed rate of the upside of 11.5% for the year if you keep it.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And you have Kathy Wood on Trump's meme coin. You can look in her face and tell she doesn't even want to talk about it. But we all know Trump is definitely a salesman. And she talks about the speed of AI. But remember, guys, AI is moving behind the scenes. Unless you do your research, you have no idea. And the same thing comes with these digital assets. That's the reason why they keep the sheep distracted on things that don't matter. Now we have Jim Breyer on Bitcoin and crypto. He definitely knows all about 4R. And he talks about the need for a digital dollar. And we know these digital assets are the foundation of the economy. But if you put the digital dollar with the smart contracts, we know that makes the Fed even more powerful. Because then they can tell you what, when, and how to buy. And you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have John from Calamos lets us know the fat cats are coming in to eat. These Bitcoin ETFs are coming, but they're more like casino products. And we know that's going to bring a lot of volatility. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And then at Davos, we have Uber CEO talking about autonomous driving. Now, we know he's not going to give us the whole truth, tells us 10 years away, and we clearly know this technology is not 10 years away, it's already here. And I think Waymo released their first car back in 2017, so in 2027 would be 10 years, and that lines right up with the launch of the fourth industrial revolution. Don't forget, Trump has 4 years to land us in this new digital economy, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And it's not just with the driverless cars, Uber. We know the whole economy, they want to take humanity out and put in the machines. I know it sounds like a movie, but remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And we have Jamie Dimon says, yes, the stocks are inflated. But guys, we know these stocks are valuing in this new digital economy. The Fed printed all that money, not for the C word, but to build this new economy. And you have to put those trillions somewhere until it's time for you to build. And now that Trump is in office, it is time for them to build. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And I talk about it first. And now we have it on CNBC. And I just went over this in the earlier video today, talking about all the bankruptcies. We know people are going to look at their 401k, the pensions, the stock market, and say, oh, the economy is doing great. But when we look at the numbers, the masses are hurting. And never forget the plan. The Fed, these central banks, want to destroy this whole global legacy market in order to bring in the global fourth industrial revolution. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Feels like this is the year of autonomy for Uber.
Absolutely.
You made a announcement at CES in terms of a partnership with NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly does all of this happen? And what do you say to your drivers? Because eventually, maybe not too soon, not too far away, they are going to start to compete with humans.
Well, I think that the technology development as it relates to autonomous is happening at an incredible pace. Obviously, we have a relationship with Waymo, with NVIDIA, but a number of other companies, Wave, WeRide, Wabi, and Aurora, and trucking as well. This is a technology that is going to hit prime time, and it's going to make for safer streets.
And what do you think the timeline is now? I mean, it feels like finally we're talking about something realistic.
So I think that the technology will be ready for prime time between now and 2 years from now. Okay. It's moving very quickly, especially with some of the newer kind of 2.0 newer generation companies. The commercialization of EVs is going to take much longer. The bill of materials, the cost of the sensors, the cars, et cetera, is too high right now. And we think that our partnering with AV developers will speed up that commercialization because we can bring them a lot more business much faster. We have fleet operations in cities in which we operate. And, you'll be able to see it live in Austin, Atlanta early this year.
Okay, if I say to myself, though, that I was a potential Uber driver, that I was going to go out and buy myself a Suburban.
Yeah.
And I was going to try to amortize that Suburban over the next 5 some odd years, 10 years, and driving for Uber, would that be a good idea?
I don't think you are going to feel anything as it relates in the next 5 years. So, for example, in San Francisco, our business continues to grow and Waymo's growing. Just the overall envelope of the business is growing faster. And I think we will operate in a hybrid network combination, by far predominantly human drivers and then some AVs feathering in over the next 10 years. 10 years from now, things may be different, but between now and 10 years from now, I think humans are going to have plenty of work and AVs are going to work their way into the system.
That was looking at the beginning of presidential terms and the PE ratio. And we are at historic highs.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether that factors into your thinking about being cautiously pessimistic about where the market goes in this environment. Are we priced for perfection?
Yeah. I think asset prices are kind of inflated. And, by any measure, they're top 10 or 15%. I'm talking about the U.S. stock market, but it's not true for stock markets around the world. And they say sovereign debt's priced pretty well. Credit spreads are all-time highs. So, yeah, they're elevated.
They're elevated.
And you need fairly good outcomes to justify those prices. And we're all hoping for that. And I think, having pro-growth strategies helps make that happen. But there are negatives out there, and they can tend to surprise you.
And there may be more pain to come. Christina Partsenevelis is here with a look at maybe some of the most vulnerable companies as well, Christina.
It's a doom and gloom kind of story right now, but we are seeing a wave of corporate bankruptcies hitting levels, like you said, not seen since the aftermath of the Great Recession. And really, there's some big names that have gone under, from your local Party City to popular restaurants like Red Lobster. Companies are struggling. And here's the kicker. Many of them are owned by private equity firms. Last year, we saw 694 companies file for bankruptcy, according to S&P Global. That's even higher than during the COVID pandemic, which was a tough time for businesses. The biggest casualties, Party City, like I talked about, and then China Construction, each carrying over $1 billion in debt. But you'll recognize other names too, like Big Lots, Spirit Airlines, Red Lobster. What's really telling is where we're seeing these bankruptcies. Consumer, retail, and industrial companies each made up 28% of all filings. And why is that? Well, interest rates staying high means their debt keeps getting more expensive and makes it more difficult for them to refi. And then consumers, of course, are watching their wallets closely. Over 100 of these bankrupt companies, I should say, were backed by private equity funds, with many in consumer discretionary and healthcare. And that's actually a new record for PE-backed funds. And there's a reason. Private capital firms have been stepping in where traditional banks won't, taking on more distressed borrowers. Now they're facing the same harsh reality of high rates and tight consumer spending that's hitting everyone else.
But I think you make a great point, which is what's different in this bankruptcy wave, even during, since pandemic financial crisis, is high rates. In the private equity companies, if you load up with debt or whatever, and then if that's your whole strategy and it doesn't pan out, so that's where we're seeing a big part of this increase.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting too that the growth rate within the PE-backed bankruptcies is growing at a faster clip compared to overall bankruptcies, 9.3% versus 15%. Could also be their exposure, PE, especially in healthcare. A lot of the bankruptcies are falling within healthcare. 2 major names even announced just this year too.
Which is surprising because healthcare is supposed to be almost like the recession-proof industry, right? You can't kill it. They're always adding jobs. It's highly regulated.
But then this is where we get a little bit murky in terms of the reasoning. Is it because they are selling the properties that they own, the hospitals, and then leasing it back to their own companies? So we're focusing on shareholder value as opposed to how these hospitals and medical facilities are run. And so that's a big debate right now.
It's going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.